curious about whether I'd have any chance in Love Island.
I think you have loads of chance.
A new bombshell enters the villa.
Do you know Love Island?
I'm not a fan of it, I'm afraid.
Welcome to Trainspotting with Francis Bourgeois.
This is a show where I share my passion for train spotting with celebrities.
Oh my God!
That made me jump.
This one's a...
If you enjoy this episode, please press the subscribe button.
This is my local. This is Westbury Station. There's always a load of stuff going on around here. And today I'm meeting up with Chloe Burrows, a Love Island star. We're in beautiful Somerset, and I'm really excited to show her what it's all about.
I've only met men from Love Island before, so I'm excited to meet a woman from Love Island.
I'm really excited. He just seems so lovely, and I just want to be nice people.
I hoped that Somerset wouldn't be disappointing after the heat of Majorca.
Hello, hi Francis.
Lovely to meet you,
So
Chloe.
nice to meet you. How are you?
It was so lovely to meet Chloe, but this was a really hectic moment as there was a Network Rail MPV on platform 2, and if we didn't dash, we were going to miss it.
Do you want to run?
Maybe.
Okay, let's go. I didn't think I'd be doing this today.
This is the exhilarating world of train spotting, and Chloe is diving right into it.
Oh!
That was a rear turn.
Yeah!
They've been passed out of the station early, so we're going to just say goodbye to them here.
We're getting in the way. Hi!
I was so happy we caught the MPV. It was a great way to start our day. And it just so happened that it was going to our next location.
Where our friends are just going down there.
Around the bend, yeah.
Just following that line down, you get to the bridge that we're going to go to.
Okay, yeah.
And it's basically my favourite train spotting location. I've been
Is it
going
your
there.
favourite? Oh, I'm pleased you're taking me there.
As we were leaving, a young train spotter asked me for a photograph. It's great to meet train enthusiasts, young and old, and I always try and encourage any young train spotters as much as possible.
Keep it up. Keep the enthusiasm going.
you.
I'll give you a follow.
Oh, thank you. Nice to meet you, thank you.
Oh, I want to cry. That was so cute.
It was time to go. I wanted to take Chloe to Pot Lane Overbridge, my favourite train spotting location.
I can see why it's your favourite. It's very quiet. It's not as manic as the station that we were at.
And by luck, just as Chloe was talking, a freight train was thrashing towards us. A Class 59.
Do you think they can see us?
Come on.
It was full to the brim with freshly quarried aggregate.
That made me jump.
All of that aggregate comes from a quarry just down the road,
Right.
which is the biggest carboniferous limestone quarry in Europe.
What's carboniferous limestone?
Just at that moment, Chloe got attacked by a bee, which distracted her from the fact that my engineering degree had somewhat dribbled out of my ear, and I couldn't remember the characteristics of the sedimentary rock. I moved the conversation on quickly.
So you're on Love Island?
I was on Love Island. Do you know much about Love Island?
Through my mum and
Yeah.
my dad watched it.
This was the second time in a row that I stumbled over Chloe's question, but I think I got away with it.
Yeah, so I used to work in finance in the city.
Really?
I came and quit my job to go on Love.
Wow.
Yeah. I booked 6 weeks holiday. The day before I was flying out, I just thought, no. So I just wrote him an email saying I quit and shut my laptop, and I was like, yes!
Whoa.
I know.
I remember when I quit my job, I was basically going to work in the winter and I'd only have half an hour of sunlight at the end of the day to see the train.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, imagine if
do
I
it
could do
all
this all
day.
the time. But handing in the notice and like that feeling of like, oh my God, it's happening.
I'm unemployed. How many followers did you have when you resigned?
It was about 500, 600K. And then like,
Unfortunately, there weren't very many trains at Pot Lane Overbridge that day, but we had a surprise visit from a farmer.
I've got 9 cows walking this way and they're going to go that way.
Okay, we'll do
oh,
that
wicked.
then.
Cow spotting.
Welcome to Cow Spotting with Francis Bourgeois, a show where I share my passion for cows with celebrities.
No, they're actually really heavily pregnant. And so you see they've got big udders on them. They're ready to birth.
Right.
I'm a bit nervous.
If needs be, like we're smaller than a cow, so we can always get in the bush.
Yeah, we can always get in the bush. I don't know if I've seen a cow that close before.
Really?
No. I'm not interested, thank God. Oh! My God.
That is the smell of Somerset.
It absolutely stinks.
From the yucky smell of cowpats to the sulphuric smell of the steam engine, our next stop was Cranmore Station, a heritage railway station run mostly by volunteers.
So you're a train enthusiast?
I'm a train enthusiast.
Are
I'm
you?
a volunteer here on
Are
the
you?
railway.
That's
so,
lovely.
Who are we filming for?
Francis, this is his TV show.
I'm a railway enthusiast, so
Oh, right.
this is Chloe from Love Island.
You're right.
Do you know Love Island?
I'm not a fan of it, I'm afraid.
And now finally it was time to jump on a beautiful prairie tank steam engine from the 1930s, a train powered by hard work, coal and steam. We were off, chugging away into the countryside.
Smells, doesn't it?
Yes.
It's not very clean, is it?
That's what I love about the railway. You have.
You love that.
What?
I wanted to ask Chloe about something she said earlier.
You said earlier that I have good chat.
You've got really good chat. Most people on Love Island, the first thing they ever say is, oh, do you want to go for a chat?
Go
And they're
for a
like,
chat.
oh, what's your type? What's your type?
What's my type?
What's your type? Probably have to explain your girlfriend here.
Brown eyes,
Right?
caring,
Nice.
someone who's open to people who have different passions. Just like
What
someone.
about girls with big bundas?
I don't think I've ever been asked if I like big bundas before, and I didn't really know how to respond.
Not the big one.
My.
That's what people talk about on Love Island. What's your type?
Do people talk about their interests and stuff?
Yeah, 90% of the chat that you don't see is people talking about what they're going out, but no one said Trainspotting on my season.
I guess because people are watching the show, they want to hear about the the bundas
Drama,
and the
yeah.
and like maybe less so like the more kind of normal conversations.
Yeah. What's your best chat-up line?
I couldn't think of any chat-up lines, so I just told Chloe my best joke.
Who's here for the yodeling sessions? Please for my oddly yodeling.
I should have used that in Love Island.
I feel like instead of chat-up lines, just provoking feelings through like less direct, like oh nice, da da da, more like just having like a general like fun time, you know?
Yeah. That's why you've probably been in a relationship for 4.5 years, and most people break up after Love Island, you know.
Oh. Are you still with
I'm
your
still
partner?
with my boyfriend, yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah. He says I got a nice bunda.
Oh.
The train came to a halt, and the prairie tank switched ends to take us back.
Nice dogs.
Chloe and I were really getting along. We were even finishing each other's sentences. On the way back to Cranmore, I'd arranged for us to have a ride in the steam locomotive itself.
Would you like to go for a chat in the prairie tank?
I'd love to go for a chat in the prairie tank.
Prairie tank.
Prairie.
It might get a bit heated. And you might need to blow off some steam. There might be undertones of tension.
I'm not sure why I said so many train puns. I hope I wasn't being inadvertently flirty.
Oh, it's wet. Okay.
And we were off, heading back to Cranmore in the prairie tank. It's an amazing visceral experience being in a steam engine, and it really takes you back to the original form of rail transport.
It's so cool.
And then it was time for me to shovel coal into the firebox,
Yeah, that's like quite hot, isn't it?
and for Chloe to have a go on the whistle. I was really enjoying myself, and looking across at Chloe, I think she was too. But like every good journey, it had to come to an end, and we arrived at Cranmore Station, hot and sweaty but buzzing with excitement for the railway.
Thank you very much. No, I really enjoyed myself. Like,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
much was going on the whole time.
Considering we've just been next to a firebox at thousands of degrees,
Yeah.
I think it's the right time that we go and cool off somewhere. So I've arranged a Love Island villa in Somerset.
Perfect.
I hoped that I hadn't bigged up the Somerset Love Island villa too much, as it was quite difficult to find somewhere appropriate in Frome.
It's very similar to the Love Island villa, this.
So yeah, I thought a chance to cool off as well, and then maybe you could show me, kind of give me an idea of what Love Island's like for a Love Islander, you know. But,
Of course.
From a perspective of being there just in person, you know.
Can you take my mobile?
I've got my transport.
Oh my God.
Got my Transport for London budgie smugglers on today, if that's okay.
Yeah, really nice, yeah. It rude, aren't they?
I suppose that laughing at other contestants' swimwear must just be part of Love Island that you don't see.
Oh, it's so cold. Oh my God, it's not like Love Island pool.
It was colder than I'd expected, but I was determined to make the best of it. And I wanted to ask Chloe about my chances on Love Island.
I'm just kind of curious about whether I'd have any chance in Love Island, to be honest.
Why don't you
Not-
have loads of chance?
How do they walk in? Is it kind of just like...
You have to do like a sexy strut. Have you got a sexy strut in your back pocket?
I'll give it a go.
Yeah. You say,
Tomorrow night, a new bombshell enters the villa.
and then they play, oh yeah. Bit rigid. Yeah. Yeah, and all the girls would be like, oh my God, there's a new boy, there's a new boy. I can see his train knickers.
Yeah, personally, I feel like I'd want to like do like a bit more of an entrance because
What type of an entrance are you thinking of here? This can be your audition for the next one.
all right, I'm going to try it. This might be a bit left field, forgive me. You can do the announcement, I guess.
Okay, Francis Bourgeois.
I wasn't sure if it was going to work, but I thought if this was my audition for Love Island, then I was going to give it my all.
Tomorrow night, a new bombshell enters the villa. Oh God, are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
It wasn't quite as graceful as I thought it would be, but to keep any street cred, I knew I needed to style it out.
This is
Hi
fun.
girls, my name's Francis, I'm 22. I'm from Frome.
Woo! And then you have to give your type on paper again. A bit of spit.
I was a little bit worried that I'd swallowed some of the water that we were specifically told not to swallow. However, it was worth it to practice my Love Island skills with my new friend, Chloe Burrows.
I had a really good day. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed Trainspotting. I never thought I'd say that in my life.
Thank you for being so open and willing to do so.
No, thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
It had been a fantastic day. From spotting trains and cows at Pot Lane Overbridge, to riding on a 1930s steam locomotive, and finally, practicing my Love Island audition at Love Island Somerset.
Oh yeah. Where's the muscles? Show the gun show.